Kung Fu League is a martial arts comedy film. I think I might have seen a few seconds from a TV spot on Facebook. I saw it at the library, decided to pick it up. Didn't really know much about this movie. It is directed by Jeffrey Lau, and I've seen a few of his movies, like the Chinese Odyssey films with Stephen Chow, and this movie is a really weird and terrible film. I want to start with that. This movie has literally no story. It is about a cartoonist. He is a shy introvert who likes a coworker, and he's struggling to write her a love letter and give it to her. He keeps getting cock-blocked by her other interest, a love interest. He's like a rich technology company-owned jerk kind of guy. He keeps trying to get in the way. So, you know, in a fit of despair, he begs for the characters in his comic book to help him. The four characters being martial arts legends from Chinese history. You've got Huo Yanjia, Bruce Lee, Wong Fei Hung, and Ip Man. So they're actually taken from their time period. It's not like a fantasy. It's more like in the vein of just visiting, rather than, you know, they're a figment of his imagination or the ghosts or whatever. So they literally are doing their own plot. So I mean, there's an awkward maybe 20 minutes sequence where we jump to Wong Fei Hung's time, and he's sort of dealing with his romance with 13th Aunt, and then he finally wakes up in a different time period with the others, and they wake up in the modern day. So you'd think a movie like this would be interesting in concept. You know, it's like four martial artist masters are now in the modern day. The movie isn't funny. In fact, it treats them like buffoons half the time. There's a scene of them like kissing each other in order to get free meals at McDonald's, and like it's kind of disrespectful, you know. I mean, not because, you know, they should be revered as these folk heroes, but it's just the way the movie utilizes them. It's like they have nothing to do. The main plot of the movie is this main character trying to win the girl. Halfway during the movie, we find out the girl has liked them the whole time, even before they even met. Like, literally, like the first time they met, she's been after him this whole time. So he never really needed to summon these martial arts masters, and that plot point immediately sucks the tension out of the film, because, you know, they don't even need to be there. She liked him all along. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, they would be together regardless. You know, instead of him trying to win the girl, you know, she's already liked him this whole time. So the first action sequence pretty much sets up how ridiculous the movie is. Wong Fei Hung is so powerful that a simple push of his leg, not even like a full-on contact kick, is so powerful. Like the power from like the movement of the air can destroy a baseball bat and split it in half. You realize that this movie is not going to be full of actual normal martial arts sequences. It's going to be like the wire fu CGI filled kind of nonsense, and the movie is full of that. There's a scene where they fight some random crime boss who's really good at martial arts. He takes an interest in Wong Fei Hung's martial arts style because it's been lost for 100 years, and then the movie just doesn't have a story or plot. You know, after the girl, we find out that she likes the main character. All of a sudden they're fighting in a martial arts tournament for no reason. There's no organization. People just start fighting each other for no reason. And then the main villain develops this kung fu armor that allows him to defeat anyone using, you know, basically, you know, it can predict movements and let him become the ultimate fighter. So the movie just rips off the ending of Kung Fu Hustle, and basically our main character keeps getting punched to allow him to get martial arts power. And the movie is just ridiculous. And I was really surprised at how like unfocused the story was, because the movie has a great cast. You've got Vincent Zhao returning to play the role of Wong Fei Hung. He was Wong Fei Hung in a couple of the Once Upon a Time in China films. I believe he was in the 5th and 6th entry. And then you've got, you know, Danny Chan as Bruce Lee. He's played him before a couple times in the Ip Man films. And Andy On is a solid martial artist as well, but he barely does anything in the movie. And then the fourth guy, they just waste him as Ip Man. So the movie's not funny. So, like, you know, you're watching it and I didn't even chuckle once. And then it doesn't deliver on martial arts sequences because the movie's really ridiculous, full of CGI. It's just not really... And then, like, none of the fights mean anything because there's barely any story, you know? It's almost like they decided to come up with the concept of, you know, what if martial arts masters from time travel to modern day, and then they didn't help the hero get the girl to do anything. You know, it's like they had the concept only, they didn't have enough story. They just said, but we could get all these actors together and just sort of wing it. And it feels like a weird improv film that just doesn't have any real, like, acts or anything. Like, it literally just... And I guess the part that bothered me the most was it kind of wastes this talented cast. I mean, all of them are pretty solid martial artists, and they don't get to do anything. The villains aren't developed enough to give them a fight. There's no story. There's no plot. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. So Kung Fu League is just a huge misfire. So I'll give it a 0 out of 10.